Hello and welcome to episode 23 of our Timberborn Update 6 Folktales playthrough here in Cycle 33, Day 8. Last time we worked on expanding our power infrastructure a little bit and making small fixes elsewhere, adding this little bit of a waterfall here, and there's still plenty for us to do, and we're going to continue working on all of that today. Possibly also getting over here and doing something about our bad water. We've got a couple of different ideas that you guys have submitted in the comments. And I'll float a couple options. I'll have you guys try to decide what we're going to end up actually doing over here. But one of the goals that I think we should have is creating a lake or some sort of other green feature over here. There's plenty of spaces that could be filled with water or maybe modified a little bit with some terraforming to be interesting and visually inviting spaces. And there's still plenty of other space over here that we haven't done anything with. And then especially on the back side here with this water going out. I know we talked at one point about having an aqueduct for our bad water to keep it kind of above the floor here. Maybe do a little bit of power generation, kind of like we did here. So we will see what happens. I'll let you guys more or less have the final say on that. So if you have any ideas or you hear something that I'm discussing today and you think, you know what, that would be a good thing for us to do, let me know in the comments down below. I do always read them, and I very much want to make sure you guys are involved as you can be. All that being said, let's go ahead and get on with today. Obviously, we need to increase our storage for power, which we have been trying to do for the past couple of episodes, but we also need to increase the amount we're actually making. And that's been one of our main problems, is that not everything is generating power for us, and we have the ability, should we choose to modify this a little bit, to put another set of wheels in. I could take this little crossing out here, I could put another set of wheels. I could also put some wheels in this side, or depending on how we want to do this exit here, we could also make a little aqueduct with wheels in it to try and fix some other stuff. But one of the things you guys said multiple times in the comments was that using a sluice here is the wrong way to go, and that I should be having these dams in instead, because the sluice just acts like the block isn't there, whereas the dam would keep the water level a little bit higher here versus, I don't know, it's probably about half down. So we'll just go ahead right now and just pop this in as a dam, get that path reconnected. We could, depending on how we want to do this later, we could also expand this a little bit to the side, but for right now I just want this to be set up a little bit better, and then we'll think about where this water is going to go once we get to that point. But for right now, I want to make sure we took care of that, because that was starting to become a problem, and we do not want to have any problems. So other concerns you guys raised is that we don't have enough places for bots to go to get the biofuel and the catalyst. We're also not really producing enough of the catalyst, because I think part of the problem is we don't have enough maple syrup being produced. And we do still have some that's unharvested, but I think part of the issue might also be we just have the one tapper shack, and it is not automated yet. So we probably need to build a second tapper shack, and we also need to continue adding more maple trees. Of course, that's going to take some time. It always does. But we will get to that at some point. We just got a lot to keep up with. Lots and lots and lots of stuff to keep up with. We have this storage for water. We have the storage for maple syrup. This water storage, of course, is to keep this irrigated. And we have some other space that might need it as well. So I think it would be in our best interest to have another tapper shack. I just don't know where that will really fit, because this one right here is actually in a decent spot to get at all of this, except this is just way far away, and I don't know that they ever have a chance to do that. So it could be that if we automate this, we have plenty of science, so there's really no reason not to. But if we were to automate this, we would have 24-hour working instead of 16 hours. And it's a bot, so it probably wouldn't have any problems just continuously working. But we would also have to put in a fueling station somewhere over here, and that's not something we currently have space for without taking some trees out, and I'd like to avoid that if at all possible. So we got some decisions to make here. I think probably the only spot I could really put another one of these tapper shacks would be right about here, but it could only reach maybe like a 2/3 of this spare area here. So it probably needs to go somewhere right in the middle of all these oak trees. So if we're going to be smart about this, I could actually just put it right here, because this tree is already cut down and these are already ready for harvesting. So that would probably help things out considerably to do that. I did remember saying earlier that I want to put some more land in here. That would help us with our additional maple tree harvesting. Let's go ahead and get this turbo speed up out of the way. Take a look at our production of the catalyst. Obviously the maple syrup is a problem, but the extract seems to be doing okay. We don't have a ton of it, but we seem to have enough, so I don't think we need to raise the alarm about that quite yet. We'll try to get this maple syrup situation a little bit more under control. We'll also take a look at the oak production, because I think we probably are going to want eventually to have all of this being maple trees, because we're going to need a lot. But I also need to wait and see just... Oh, we got tons that hasn't been harvested over here. All right, you know what we're going to do? We are going to not replant any of... at least up to here. Not going to replant any of this as oaks. It's just going to get replanted as maples. So we'll have to get that all taken care of. This is already full. We haven't really started using too much of this yet. So we'll see what happens there. At the very least, though, we can continue putting some refueling stations for the biofuel in different spots. We've got one here right before it goes into this district. We've got a couple right here. We've got one here at the mine. We've got one here. So that's probably okay. This, of course, they could easily get to. But if we're going to have everything automated, we're going to want to have some other storage for this stuff somewhere reasonably close. It doesn't necessarily have to be these medium or large tanks. We could just have a couple small ones, but that is more hauling for these guys to do. And I don't really know exactly what we're wanting to get out of this. Also don't know exactly what we're doing with the water pumps. That might just be a non-issue that we're thinking a little bit too hard about. For right now, though, we can take a look at putting in just a couple of these medium tanks. Right here is probably a decent spot to go. Not too far away from everything else. We just need to make sure we're connecting paths appropriately. I know we don't have any catalyst, but I am still going to make a provision for that in the future once we get around to all that fun stuff. As we expand down here, probably should have another little fueling station area. In fact, you know what? Okay, well, they're not going to be able to plant down here, but this would probably be a decent place to just go ahead and pop a couple of these tanks nice and easy. Remember, we want to have as much storage in as many different places as possible so the bots don't ever really have to get too far from anything they're trying to get to. They haven't even replaced this yet, which I don't think is really that big of a deal, but something to keep an eye on. This is ready to go here. This, of course, is being blasted out in an attempt to have everything all taken care of nicely for this new gravity batteries that we're putting in. Of course, there's still more that needs to get done. Just check our depth here. This looks like it could... Oh, I can't see anything. This looks like this could be triples and be just fine. They should be able to get at both of these sides now. And once that's all the way down to triples, then there's really not that much else in the way of blasting that needs to get done. We have a pretty good capacity here, I feel like. And all of this water just goes out to this area and then fills up this giant lake, which I'm sure some of you think is a waste because we're not doing anything with it, but it looks kind of cool. And again, we have tons of water. It is not a problem to have water. So I think we are going to be just fine leaving it as it is. Yeah, they still haven't gotten these trees taken out. And we don't even have full storage either, so I'm not exactly sure what's even going on over here. But that's all stuff we can work toward taking care of. Let's see, look how fast the biofuel is filled up. Tons of biofuel. I should have, yeah, I got 3,600 out of a storage of 3,900. That number is only going to increase. And I've got a lot of bots that aren't doing anything, so let's take a look. If we're wanting to automate, which I think we might as well go ahead and do, automate this tapper shack. That gives us a deficit of 2 jobs. These are automated. These, you know what, let's just take a look at our job thing for our regular Beaverburg 17 district. Aquatic farmhouses. Probably not the most important job for us to automate, but we will at some point need to do that. The builder's hut would be a great one to automate, so I'll go ahead and flip that switch. District center as well. So that gives us -10. Let's raise our minimum to 46. And that will completely even out this district, and then we'll just have the one empty job here. Obviously, we are continuing to make the bots. It is what it is. We haven't built any of the enhancements. And by enhancements, I mean the printing press that can make the punch cards. Everything else is just kind of dependent on the catalyst to make the bots go a little bit faster. And we just have to get more in the way of our maple syrup. So that is why I've been attempting. You know what? We'll go all the way to here for more maple trees. I think that's probably going to make more sense. Yeah, we'll do that. Honestly, this probably all needs to be maple. Maybe some more chestnuts, depending on how we're feeling. But in terms of chestnuts, we got 1,600 of the grilled, and we have another 1,000 that haven't been grilled. So I think we're probably okay for the life of this playthrough. We are starting to dework the bio beavers. We do have 89 who are unemployed and only 57 who are employed. Eventually, that number will be all of the beavers unemployed. They can just spend their days doing whatever they please as we add more recreational opportunities. But you know how it goes. We got plenty of stuff still to do. While I'm thinking about it, did get a couple comments saying that I missed a tree right here, which we'll go ahead and mark. And since we're already in this mode, we'll just take a quick look around, make sure that I don't have anything else that I'm missing. It looks to be pretty good as far as I'm concerned. I know they still haven't built this staircase here. That's going to allow us to plant up there. That's not a big issue. This space right here, I was going to blast down so we could have this extend all the way across. So I have plenty of explosives. So we'll go ahead and just blast this entire thing to smithereens. Get rid of that lumberjack flag. I got a drought approaching, so we are going to be a little bit worse for wear on power for a while, but we'll make it work. We always do. That is what we find ourselves doing more often than not. Now these trees here, how... okay, I'm going to unmark for planting basically this entire area up here, because I do want to kind of take this down to the same level. This thing of a hauling post probably needs to go away as well. Or at least get moved somewhere. There's going to be better places for it, because I want to be able to plant more trees down here, because we're always going to need more trees. Okay, so that one's done. I will go ahead and remove this. Plop that in place. I can't detonate underneath this thing, and because of the way that I built this, we're not going to be able to. But it's okay. We'll make it work. This tooth grindstone will go away, because eventually these are going to be bots. But for right now, they aren't. So now we just have to find ourselves pausing. I'm going to detonate all of the ones on this row at the same time, so we don't have any stupidity happen here. And hopefully nobody will die. Beautiful, except I managed to miss this one little piece right here. And that'll end up being fine, I suppose. So those stairs will go here. This mess here does not have to be this way. That can go away. This can then get turned. And I believe, if I have this set correctly, yeah, that's actually going to be substantially better. We'll be able to plant a little bit more, should we choose to. And of course, this entire area over here will be all good to go. But I can go ahead and put... yeah, I'll put 2 of those back in there. Get this thing locked and loaded. These little piles can go away, and we can actually replace that with some space over the top here. I'm not going to bother trying to do anything fancy. I'm just going to put a large pile right on the top of this thing, get that taken care of, get that exploded. Beautiful. Come pick up all of these pieces off the ground. And we can plant some more trees here. We'll just go with the classic oaks. Nice and simple. Keep this space very nicely utilized. That's a big improvement there. They still have not cut these trees down. What are we doing? Okay, this is full. Okay, and that's probably not helping because we don't have any hauling post in this district. And what we can do, since we have this space here, is... Now, why in the world would I have done this like this? Let's give ourselves a... Actually, no, that's not going to work. Well, we'll just pretend like this was the plan the entire time. Get that in there, set that to bots, set that to 10. That should help a lot in getting this taken care of. Yep, there we go. Those have been restored. Now, let's see, I've got logs. This large pile doesn't really need to be here, I don't think, but I don't know if I would replace it with one of the underground piles. Well, I also don't have enough gears. Well, I do have 1,000 if you include this whole mess over here, but we got a lot to think about here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just set that off. There we go. They'll of course keep putting these things in here, but having as much capacity in here as we can is going to be helpful. This is no longer flowing across this way. I wonder if that's because this level's not high enough. Because it really shouldn't be... Yeah, see, that's closed. Downstream depth is fluctuating a little bit. I would mainly like for this to get high enough where this can flow over. I think it has to be at 0.66 to get over the top of the dam. Well, we'll figure it out. It's not mission critical that there's water coming out of this at all times. It was just a nice thing to do last time, and cleaning this up, of course, is probably going to be the preferred option anyway. Let's see, what else? Where else, rather, can or should I put some of this stuff? So we do have maple syrup here. Maybe I should have this prioritized by... Yeah, we'll do that. That, I'm sure, is not helping things. I don't know if that reset when I removed the hauling posts. It very well could have. Let's check everything in this district. Okay. There weren't very many things prioritized by haulers anyway. So maybe we're just kind of wasting our haulers by not having everything taken care of. So why don't we just prioritize everything that can be prioritized? I don't care about the fluid dump, no. But all of our food making stuff easily could do it. Lumberjack flags, don't care about refineries for sure. And then the water pumps, no. Water pumps don't matter. In fact, we might not even need to have these here at all unless we wanted to have another set of pumps on this side that we were going to mess with. But again, I don't really think we need to. So let's take a look at the depth that we need this to be, because nothing that's coming out can come out from below where the sluice is located. And it looks like that is 4 blocks down. So we would need this area to kind of go down one stripe at a time, or at the very least be accessible from the outside. So I figured we'd just do 1 strip, 2, then plant more dynamite on the bottom of that, and then the next one at the same time, just kind of cascade it back. But we've got a pretty healthy amount of gravity batteries here ready to go. I know we haven't increased our production of power, but this is a lot. This is, what, 3 times the amount we had for the last drought? So it should still work out pretty nicely in our favor. I just would love to see more maple syrup. We have plenty of these maple pastries, but we could stand to be making some more of those and making sure that we're keeping track of everything else. we're just kind of hemmed in by not having as much in the way of maple trees. We have so much wood, I kind of feel like I should just tear these oak trees down and we don't really have to worry about it. Well, I guess that does answer my question too about, oh, can I really justify getting rid of it? Yeah. I have so much stored up, I'm just going to choose not to worry about it. We'll just come kill all this. Because it's holding us back at this point, not having enough maple. Because it does take, to grow these maple trees, 28 days and then another 12 days. It's 40 days to get maple syrup. So we really don't have time to be saying, oh, okay, well, maybe we'll just wait now. No, the time is now. Except for these right here. Because that's going to be where our... Actually, if we're completely tearing this whole thing down, I should probably have it be in a slightly more centralized location, like maybe right here. Yeah, that would actually probably work better. Or maybe I don't, depending on where... Well, if this is the only place that we're going to be growing these... Now, if we're growing them up here, then I am going to want to move it up to this way, but this would allow us to get to most of these trees pretty well. Yeah, we'll just roll with that. Continue putting in more of these. This lumberjack flag can go away if that is not going to be a priority anymore. So I do have this one here, which actually... Probably, if we're just cutting the trees down, this doesn't need to be right there. It can be moved all the way to over here, and then that can go away. No, you guys know the drill. You just do a little bit at a time as you can do it. That's the way it goes. Alright, it was an 8-day drought. I know we didn't have any fanfare about it, but it is nice to keep track of things. So we'll just keep doing this as we go back. That should give us, hopefully, the heights that we need. And we can start putting in additional, what do you call them? Yeah, that's the technical term. Platforms and such across here and just have it match nicely. And then somebody did leave a comment about burying these power shafts, which the way I'm thinking about doing this, we aren't even going to need a power shaft on this side because we're going to have all these connected over here. And then outside of, or I guess on this side of the last bank, whenever we put those in, that can just go straight across. We'll see what happens. We got some time still before we have to fully figure all this out. But let's get these the maples planted as fast as we can. And sometime next episode, I guess we'll reap the benefits of this. Just got to make sure everything stays hydrated. And just have a couple more left. And there we go. That should be the last one. Make all of these into maples. Let's make sure we remove these from cutting, so we don't have any problems later on. And there we go. So that's going to be one of those set it and forget it kind of things for the next super long time. But for right now, we do still have some. This will need to be a bot most likely when we get to that point, but for right now it's okay to have this as a biobeaver. Our bot production is probably going to start leveling off if it hasn't already, just because we only have the one set of the part factories. But I believe as our playthrough kind of plateaus a little bit in terms of what we're actually building in terms of infrastructure, we might actually be able to scale back our production of certain things because the bots are going to be much more efficient. Food-wise, I think we're probably already at that point. We might not even need everything we've built to this point to make everything work the way we want it to. But we'll see what happens. This can still reach all the way over there. We could even plant some down here if we wanted to, but I'm pretty sure we want to keep this for some of our water-related purposes. It does kind of bother me that this has no longer been flowing, but that may be something we will have to continue to address as we work on this. I might have to build a bump out and just put floodgates so we could kind of infinitely adjust, well, in 0.05 increments. or whatever the thing is now, because I don't think it was ever getting high enough to come through the dam here. And the reason the sluice worked great is because it would just let out the entire block at once and just open and close, open and close, open and close, based on how I had that set up there to just kind of mildly temper the outflow there. But we don't have to be crazy about it. We're just trying to get something accomplished. Doing a little bit of trial and error along the way. Now, when we put this in, so that's going to be... This space here is going to have to go all the way down to the bottom. And the way this is set up, before I blow too much other stuff up... Okay, that's going to be a double... So this up top actually should be a triple. Should not be doubles, because then I can just do 2 of those instead of waiting for all this other garbage. But yeah, we'll do 2 triples. That will fit there. And then we're going to actually have a mismatch. So I think what's going to end up happening, I know this might seem stupid, but I think what's going to end up happening here is I'm actually going to move this levee bit out 1 block. So then I can have the width of 5 of these here instead of 4.5, and we'll just go all the way across. And this should also suck up a lot of our extra wood that we've been having to deal with. That'll make it much easier for us to deal with all this stuff. Plus we can, you know, explode more land, and that's always fun. Everybody likes that. All that being said, though, we do still need to have this extended out. And I don't think I want to mess with tearing this down, necessarily. Although it would look kind of cool. See, this is 10. So I could have 2 5x1s and just call that a day. You know what? Yeah, that's nice and easy. That's nice and easy. We'll do that. So I've got a triple. 2 triples, actually. 3 triples, I can't count. This will become like that, and then that'll go very nicely. Set up like so. That's going to work out well. Yes, very good. Very good. That goes there, you know the drill. Unless I counted incorrectly, which I guess I did. No, I didn't. I just can't count. Well, I did count incorrectly, but not in the way I thought I counted incorrectly. Okay, now my brain hurts. So we're going to move on. Also did see a comment asking why I'm doing these platforms like this instead of just using these overhangs. There's not really a good reason. I just kind of like putting these on top of the platforms. It's fine. Either way is good. But I know when I do this, I know it's going to work, because I'm just used to doing it that way. So depending on how we want to do stuff, I could do, yeah, you know what? Actually, we're gonna do that. This will be a triple here, a T intersection here. So this will go into the back of this one, and then connect to that one, and then connect to this way. As we continue working on that, there's so much stuff to do, and we're expanding all this. It's a process. It is very, very much a process, and that should go nicely there to go all the way down. And we'll just keep on doing what we got to do. As this gets brought up, we will demolish the inside, let them pick up all that stuff. And then I suppose the way this is set up... Oh, that was probably not a smart choice to do that, but get that all hooked back up. We'll have to decide how we want this to be expanded out. If we want to have this go all the way to this corner here, we could do that. I do know that we're not going to have the gravity batteries go past this, because I think that is probably just fine the way it is. But, you know, it would be nice to have a pretty large collection of these gravity batteries here. Okay, they still have not planted everything here. Well, this is another thing that could be automated, but again, our bot production has slowed, so I'm either going to have to build another set of the factories, which I probably don't want to do and probably don't have the resources to do, to sustain at least. So it might end up being necessary for us to kind of reduce our workforce just a touch. I do know that this mine is currently making science. It does not need to be. We could actually pause this. We have... Oh, okay, we only have 221 metal blocks, so we probably just need to go back to making scrap metal. If at all possible. Which will continue using these resources, but I think we're going to be okay. Just have to make sure we're doing what we can. Okay, we have these trees here now. I don't think this bad water source can cause these trees to become polluted. We will find out, of course. Also did see a comment saying that one forester, I think the math ended up being one forester can outplant between 3 and 4 lumberjacks if they're automated. So it certainly seems like that might be the case, what's happening here, so we will need to have an additional lumberjack. I'm thinking, because I don't really have any space here, I did want to have little tiny log storages, that maybe one more right here would make sense. So we'll just pop that in place. Because this could kind of get at both of these, you know. That's already set there. That should be okay. You know, just little fine-tuning things that we're getting to. You will note that it is halfway through the drought, and we have not used half of our power, so like it or hate it, this is working perfectly fine for our current power consumption needs. We still have... No, they harvested all the maple here. There's a little bit back in the corner. But it doesn't seem like it's enough still, so I am glad we planted this. We might, again, end up just making all of this into maple at some point. But you know how it goes. Okay, let's start the process of getting this taken care of, and I'm going to... see, that's not going to play nice with me, is it? You know what? I thought I connected this. There we go. Yeah, we'll just get this whole thing all the way to here removed so they can come grab all of the rubble here. Now this does also continue to expand our area that we're working on, which is nice. And then this one last... Actually, no, I can't get rid of that yet because... Oh, no, I can. I almost scared myself. We're good. Alright, so this is going to continue to go down. It does look kind of weird on the inside, not having the logs go all the way. Actually, that looks weird right there. Maybe we'll have to put another piece of land once we have terraforming. We got the ability to get this taken care of. That's going to be a triple here. And then this is also going to have to be a triple. So this one block is going down 9 squares to fit with what we're trying to build here. That whole thing's a process. We already knew that was a whole ordeal. So that, I guess I'm going to have this set up like so. That's the wrong one. There we go. Then, of course, as we get further into the process with this other stuff, we can build more of these gravity batteries. But again, I think we're going to be in a good spot for power production consumption relative to our current needs. That could change. I know we did build this several episodes ago, these 2 water wheels, with the intent of doing terraforming. But I just don't know. Don't really know exactly how we're going to be doing that, because this is coming out here. I did say I wanted to have an aqueduct, which we could pretty easily do. Just have this go straight out. Make it 4 blocks wide. You know what? I keep talking myself into stuff. I know that ends up becoming a little bit of a problem, but it's fine. I guess what we'll need to do is just keep this thing rolling, huh? So 4x1 here and here. I don't want it to be incredibly stupid. A little stupid, yeah, okay, that par for the course, but I think I might want to do a similar thing to how we did our bad water shunt thing in the Iron Teeth playthrough, the live streams. If you've been not watching those, what we did was we compiled all of the water sources into like a single shaft or a single area that brings it up, and then we built these aqueducts that go kind of over everything. and filled them with the water wheels like this, except, of course, the iron teeth have the bigger ones. But it's still 4 wide in the middle, and then they have the wheels overhanging off to the side with their power shafts and all that. It's been wildly successful for us over there, and I think we can continue doing that to a similar extent here. Actually, since I can't say since you brought it up, because I'm just talking to myself like a crazy person right now, this area here has the opportunity for us to do something similar. And someone actually did leave a comment asking for us to do that, where we could build some sort of levee thing to bring this up to either slightly above here, or I think they might have been saying up to like the very top of the map, as high as it'll let us go, and then we could just have aqueduct go off the side of the map, or even have like a spiral kind of thing going down. I believe Disturbed Simulations, fan of the channel, Beard Booster as well, has done something like that. Now, I will have to go and check their latest video to see if that's actually what it is. I don't, unfortunately, have time to keep up with everybody, but I do remember somebody mentioning something like that, so maybe that's an idea we could take a look at and see if we want to do something similar. But let me know your thoughts about this. Would you like me to just cap these, which is another thing people suggested. We do have the ability to do that with the Bad Water Dome, which, if you close it, completely seals the source. We can also do Bad Water Rigs to get the bad water out, but at this point in time, I don't think we really need to. Our production of the dynamite and the extract seems to be somewhat sufficient, but that is an option for us. We could just seal it, we could mine it, or we can shove it way up high and then make some sort of like a spiral thing with a whole bunch of water wheels and some crazy thing, like, I don't know, maybe Skystorm would build something like that. We've never really done anything like that in a video. I'm not opposed to it. This is not normally how I play, but if you guys want to see it, maybe we can give it a shot. Just let me know what your thoughts are on that, and we'll come back and revisit that at some point. So for right now, I'm trying to get this as situated as we can as we move into the late game. There is still plenty of stuff for us to do. Oh, I also installed the big Signs mod. Our friend Battery Smooth made this during Update 5, and we used it on our the Series 15 playthrough. But we've got the opportunity to just spell all sorts of stuff if we want. We want to name our districts, or we just want to put signs or whatever. We can do that. I like the mod, so I figured, you know what? I'll get it. We'll see what we can do. Then we, of course, also have the Fountain of Joy monument, and then the Earth Recultivator, the capstone piece of the playthrough, when we eventually get to that. But again, there's plenty of stuff for us to get to, so don't worry, the playthrough's not ending anytime soon. I just generally try to keep this around 30 episodes. It's not a hard limit. If we're finished at 25, then we're finished at 25. We won't be. We will not be finished with this one at 25. But if it's 30 and we're at a good stopping point, then we can. If it's 35, if it's 40, it's probably not going to be 40. But we'll see. I'm not firmly wedded to any specific number of videos. I just know what usually happens. And I try to roughly plan to take around that same amount of time, because it seems to be an amount of episodes that works for people. 3 times a week, that would be 10 weeks. So about 2.5, 3 months, depending on how often the videos get uploaded. Seems to be a good time span for people to get invested in things, and it doesn't just end immediately. It takes some time to get some stuff done. I don't know, thinking out loud, but you guys are the ones who are super invested in watching all this stuff, so I want to make sure it's stuff you enjoy, and it's not going at too fast or too slow of a pace. We seem to have struck a pretty happy medium for most of that, so I'm not particularly interested in messing with it unless there is a compelling reason to do so, or you guys are saying, hey, please do this. We haven't done this before. So that works. And look at this. The drought's almost over, and we're still not quite at half capacity on our batteries. And we haven't even built the rest of them yet. So I think we're fine on production for power. I know it might seem a little scary when the number is smaller than it should be, but it's working. So I don't really think we need to mess with it. Once we unpause the rest of the stuff, then, you know, maybe that becomes something we could be concerned with, but for right now, I think we're fine. Now, 69,000 science. The folktales do not have a thing that consumes science like the Iron Teeth do. All we have to worry about is having different things unlocked. So, in the interest of, you know, keeping ourselves prepared, I will go ahead and unlock as much stuff as I can. In fact, if I can unlock everything, then we will never have to worry about it again. I know we're going to probably do something at some point to use most of this stuff that we're doing, but the mini lodge, I almost never use this thing. Stream gauges, again, we probably haven't really messed with that. Mechanical fluid pumps we don't really do too much with. The bad water domes, we may end up using. The bad water rig we may, but probably won't end up using. Beehive, I hate beehives. It never does anything for me, but hey, we'll do it. Printing press, get those unlocked. This is already done, that's already done. That's already done. The showers, I don't know how we've made it this far into a playthrough without somebody saying build showers, but I don't know, maybe you guys have and I just haven't done anything. The detailer, we're going to have to get something going on. Dance halls, and then of course the mud pit. This is a new item, the mud pit. 3x3 that has to be filled with dirt, but we're not there yet. Decoration, I don't want to unlock all this stuff quite yet, but see, we still have 43,000 science, and this stuff, I am going to save the Earth Recultivator and the Fountain of Joy unlocks for when we actually build those, but just to show you, we do have enough science to do all of this, and we could shut off our observatory and be completely fine. Absolutely no consequences whatsoever. But yeah, we've got plenty to be doing here. We just want to make sure that we're doing what we can, what we should be doing. You know, I should have had these guys come in here and build this prior, but I will go ahead and place the start of something in here. Yeah, they're not going to be able to get rid of this, but I will, yeah, that'll be okay. We'll make it work. Send these guys in here. A little staircase down the side. Because my goal is to have this go straight out and then either have like a curve or something around here and see what we're doing. But again, it's long-term stuff, right? It takes time to do, so we don't really have to be that worried about it. We just want to make sure we're not putting ourselves in a spot where it's not going to actually be viable. So of course, permeable floors will have to go here. They don't have to go on top of this, but I might as well just put one in there. You know how this goes. So once again, water is starting to fill our reservoir here. It's probably going to take a while to get back up to this point. I don't know that it will flow through here. If it doesn't, then maybe we have something else to worry about, but I believe for right now we're probably okay. That's ready. And then this can get put in the same way. There's so much stuff that they're attempting to build that I think this has kind of become less of a priority. And again, the situation with the gravity batteries is already completely fine, but I do like the idea of building as much as we can and taking advantage of the space that we have. It's always fun. Are we still... No? Okay, there's a couple here, but they're working on getting that. We still do not have enough maple syrup. I do see 15, but it is being pretty expeditiously turned into other stuff. We have under 700 catalyst, so we know we're going to have to do that. I can't help but feel like I'm going to have all of this be maples. I kind of feel like I'm punking myself the way I have this set up. Am I going to have a third tapper shack? I might actually, depending on how this is going to be set up. But I will not replant these oaks because we have all that other space over there. I guess we'll just replant these as maples whenever we get there. You can always use more. If you have too much, there's no penalty for that in this game except you spent your time doing something that maybe wasn't a great use of your resources. But it definitely could be worse. So now this is going to keep filling up. I don't think this is going to be, you know, putting stuff out as fast as we want it to be to leave this not pumping water out. Oh, it doesn't pump water out. But I do want to see what it's going to take to get stuff to come out of here regularly, whether that means closing these a little bit or maybe rerouting a couple things. Because let's not forget, we're only generating power here, so there's nothing stopping me from putting additional sluice gates here and just completely eliminating this if we wanted all of the water to come out the front, which we, you know, probably don't. But back here we also have an opportunity to make a better use of this space. Again, most of this is runoff from up here. So if we got rid of all this we capped these or diverted them somewhere else, all of this runoff would be filling up this basin here. This is kind of a cool looking thing. We just haven't done anything with it because we haven't really needed to. But we got options. We have different things we can be doing. And I will, of course, entertain all of your thoughts about that, as I always do. And it seems like we're pretty much only going to be able to get about 140 bots out of this. So maybe, as much as I don't want to, it might be a good idea to just double our bot production here. Which we could pretty easily do. I might need to move... Yeah, I might need to move these tanks just a little bit to be able to get in here, but that's not a big deal. See, I don't know, because I would really like to not have to mess with that. Because that's going to double the amount that we're consuming, which means we have to produce other stuff. And I'm not convinced that we really need to have that many. For what we are now, I don't think we really need to have that many working here. Stuff to think about. So we do have 96 unemployed beavers. We got some time. The metal situation might preclude us from doing more bots, because unless we have anybody gathering metal, which there's a couple places we can, but unless we need to, you know, I'd kind of like to avoid it. Make things a little bit less complicated. Everything right now is just kind of hinging on getting more maples, which, like I said, is a very, very, very slow process. This is a third grown, but it's not a third of the way to actually making anything. It's closer to probably 25% of the way to making stuff. So that's going to be probably end of next episode, maybe. Toward the end, we'll see these start to produce maple syrup. So our issue with the catalyst and everything else is probably not getting solved that quickly. So I'm hesitant to build more bots for that reason, but there's still other stuff we're going to be doing. We are going to need to be using more paper so we can make the books, but again, the way this is set up, I don't even have good access over here yet. There's just so many other things we could be doing here. So many things. I haven't really done a great job of getting this situated here. I believe, however, I could take one of these out and tunnel underneath here, because we should be making these things, right? Printing press can make books for the beavers to read, or it can make the punch cards. Punch cards, of course, help the bots. Books are a good thing for the beavers. I don't know how many I really should be making here. 'Cause you know what? Have I actually allocated space for books yet? I did. Okay, I've got two medium warehouses for books. That's probably more than we'll need. And I think, let's see, I've got explosives. I've got materials. Let's go ahead. Let's just do this, right? Let's take a dynamite. Just go across like this. Mark this as a priority. Just get this going. I know we're going to lose a lot of production of power here, but as soon as this is in place, we should be okay. Our builders in this district are bots after all. They just have to, you know, get around to doing it. We'll do our little power underpass. We'll put two of the printing presses on this side, and then hopefully we can get that locked and loaded. It's like I want to make sure we're getting something done, because this episode's been a whole lot of, well, okay, we'd love to do this, but we kind of can't. So, oh, I'm so afraid of blowing these beavers up because they just won't go to bed. They got nothing to do. If I find a lull in the space, hit pause, and blow all of these up at the same time, it should theoretically be impossible for them to get blown up. You idiots! Oh, okay, so that was a bot and one of the beavers, but you know, I timed it, and I guess they just decided, you know what, we're gonna YOLO. So I'm sure that will be a topic of discussion in the comments, as it always is. But let's get this put back in place. Come and grab all these scraps so I don't have to worry about it. And then across here we'll put our printing press. I could actually offset this if we wanted to. That might actually be smart. Or I could choose to just not worry about it. Let's see, metal blocks here, planks here. I'm going to need to have paper storage too, so maybe this pine resin. Pine resin could be put somewhere else. This treated plank storage probably doesn't need to be here. I guess it's fine. I guess it's fine. We'll just do something else. But yeah, printing press here, first one. And then here, second one, but I will do that first one. Then I could have a path here to go back and get some other stuff. We got options. What's in here? Planks. Okay, I'm not going to worry about planks. Not going to cry about those. See, we got tons of them. We got 1,900. This, of course, has to go back in here. Speaking of planks. And that will transfer power nicely. This, of course, is waiting on the rest of the stuff to get put in. Select a recipe. For right now, let's do punch cards for the bots. At least one doing punch cards. One doing books is probably smart. But it does require the paper, which means I am going to have to unpause this, which uses just regular logs. But now we have tons of logs. That was the reason I hadn't done that before, was I didn't think we were going to be able to sustainably do that. Now let's see. I have this here. That's going to be the 6x1 will get me there. If we end up continuing to build stuff here. Otherwise, this is just a super expensive bridge to get over here, but we do need to have paper production if we're going to be making punch cards. So every 0.75 hours we make 2 punch cards, then hopefully the bots can just grab those. Maybe I'll put a couple of other small storages elsewhere for that to be a thing. I don't think I've ever used the punch cards on the bots before. So if that makes them go faster, if it just makes them live longer, that I could not tell you. Let's see. Okay, so it's a +1 from the punch card, +1 from the catalyst, I guess. Okay, it's a working speed and it is a movement speed. Okay, well that's still worth doing. Okay, second printing press. This does seem to be able to keep up. Kind of. But let's start with 2 for punching cards. Punch cards. Let's see if we can make that a viable thing. I guess the way this is set up here, do 2 of these. Just overhang on the cliff like that. Might as well. What I'm going to do back here is I'm going to have... I guess I could put 2 different medium warehouses for punch cards, or I could just have 1 giant one. But the giant one wouldn't be symmetrical, and you know how much we love symmetry here, so that seems like a pretty easy thing. Punch card. And that should give me... Yep. Once that's done, we'll have all that storage. So... we might end up putting another one of these next to these guys, but for right now, this seems to be looking okay. I don't think we have any issues. We can also start removing some lodges because we have extra beavers we really don't need. So I don't want to necessarily have anyone be homeless, but we might need to do that to make this a viable thing. We'll see. Maybe that'll be a next time deal. So this still is day 6. This still is not overtopped. So you know, I'm starting to think this might have been a mistake to do this way. That maybe we need to just have some sort of other system. Either we use these floodgates that I never end up using. Maybe we just need to use those and just say, you know what, that's just the way it is. But I will, of course, entertain your comments here. I really did think this was going to be the thing that would work, but it seems like the water never gets high enough to go through here. Unless you guys saw it and I didn't. We're already halfway through the cycle and I've not seen a drop come out of here. I'm not saying it hasn't. I'm just saying I haven't seen it. So if you did, let me know. But I don't think this is working. Otherwise, how are we looking here? Metal situation, at least we have scrap metal. We might need to be making a little bit quicker. This punch cards don't seem to be going quite as fast as I thought they would, but the bots are using them. So that's something. We have these paper mills going. Probably... No, we have log storage here. Okay, so we're fine on that. I don't think we need to really worry about it that much. But I do think that we've gotten some good stuff done. We have so much more that needs to get done. I can't really organize it in a very great way just off the top of my head. So it is a little bit scattered. I know it's not really the most exciting thing to watch when I don't have that much of a clue of what I'm doing, but I do think we're doing some good stuff here. So, okay, they can't get into this yet, but they will at some point soon. To get this popped in here, we're going to have to decide what the route of this flow is going to be. I really like the idea of this being clean water eventually. So the more that we can route this kind of around, or maybe snake this through here, could be kind of neat. Of course, I'll take your input on that, but for right now, this is going to be maybe something we have to do during droughts to keep expanding this. Because I would like to make good use of the fun overhangs that we've got and continue doing stuff. But for right now, I think we'll just leave this alone. If you would like to see this meander through here, let me know. If you'd like to see it just kind of go straight line wherever, let me know. But that'll be a thing we can get to later. We've made some good improvements, like I said, but there's still plenty more to do. Unfortunately, a lot of it is kind of waiting on the maple syrup to kind of catch up. We do still have catalyst, but if we're going to make a big surge in bots, we're going to need to have another entire set of these, which I don't want to do until we have a better catalyst setup. So it's a whole thing. You solve one problem and you create another. That's just the nature of the beast. We can, however, go ahead and get this set up, ready to go. Yep, that'll be triples all the way down. And I don't think we need to build more gravity batteries, but I think we're going to do it anyway because it just looks cool. This probably will need to be done in chunks, so I'm not going to start now, but we will get everything ready as best as we can and just work from there. Now this needs to be another... Is that triple or is that 4? Okay, so that's actually 4. This will be a double, and then these will all be triples. And then there'll have to be another double. This will be a triple and a triple. Just to get that down to the level it needs to be for everything to be straight and flat and all that good stuff. So, I believe we have arrived at probably a good spot to end for today. I would be very interested to see if... I know this isn't going to increase the numbers of bots, but if the productivity goes up such that we can have fewer bots working in places like as haulers or builders, then I think that's really going to be a good thing for us. But like I said, this is probably about the best possible place to end for today, and we'll pick this back up on Wednesday, trying to continue what we're doing and work in a little bit more of the greening and all that fun stuff. So again, I always appreciate you watching these videos. I always read the comments. I try to incorporate as much as I can when it's possible, so please do always keep those coming. Beard Boosters, your support makes it possible to continue doing these series to the degree of completeness that we do, and I am very, very thankful for that support. Helps in many more ways than you could possibly realize, and I'm very, very thankful that we get to do this together. So you can see your names on screen. Again, appreciate those folks. Appreciate you too, even if you're not part of that. Just you being here and leaving comments is also an enormous help in making these videos successful. So I'm just appreciative all around. Always am. Always look forward to getting to interact in the comments and everything else with you. Again, if you have any ideas, please do let me know. It's as much of your playthrough as it is mine, because it's a let's play, not a watch me play the game. But that's enough of my rambling. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, whatever it is you're doing. Stay safe, have fun, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.